question. But how have you been working for 30 years?
Well, I just have. I sort of I got on with it.
At 3? At 3?
No, I'm
Well, you
just
didn't get
saying.
on with anything at school, did you? Because you were just pissing about.
Yeah.
You weren't working
Yeah.
out there.
What was the first job you got? How old were you?
I was 15.
Right, okay, so you've been working for 15 years then. Okay, good.
Yeah, but
right.
I had my paper round when I was 10, didn't I? And that was hard graft. That's why I'm bald and that. Getting up at 4:30. It all adds up, doesn't it? All adds up. So anyway, I kicked my height when I was a kid.
He always says this, like it's a classic story that everyone should know.
Everyone
and
knows,
also
right?
the phrase "kicking my own height."
Yeah.
No,
Explain what you mean.
Just kicked my height when I was a
Kick
kid.
your. No one understands.
You
Carl.
kicked your leg up to the
kicked
height
my
that
leg.
you were at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
if
kicked
you
my
were,
height. It's not a well-known phrase. You can't just go, "I kicked my height."
so you were 4.5 foot, and you put your toe up into the air 4.5 feet by kicking.
Yeah, but I landed on my back.
Right. Okay. Imagine seeing that in the playground. They go, get Carl Pilkington to kick his height. I bet he falls over like a
It
fucking
wasn't in the
penguin.
playground. My dad got me to do it in the garden.
Brilliant.
But why did
They
you fall
sold
over?
tickets. The neighbours were cracking up. Yeah.
Why did you fall over? Did you hit
I just
yourself
didn't,
in the
I didn't
head?
have kicked the height. I mean, my leg got high up, but I was that chuffed that I got that high. I didn't think of putting my leg down again.
What does it look like? What the fuck did that look like?
He's got to think it all through. I thought it was automatic.
You stayed there.
You sort of stay balanced.
Christ
But you didn't
almighty.
think, well, I'm loving this. This is brilliant, but what should I do now? I got my leg up. I'll just keep it up. Whoa!
It looked like a Hitler salute with his leg. What were you doing?
So anyway, I landed on my back,
Yeah.
and I did some damage, I think. And it's because
Definitely.
of that.
You sure you didn't land on your head?
And it's because of that, all them years and what have you.
Yeah.
I've had like a trapped nerve in my leg.
Right.
So I thought, right, now's the time to have it done. Because when you get older, I mean, it was the kidney stone thing. Once you've sort of looked at, death and what have you, it just makes you think, got to start looking after
Do you
your
think you
body.
could die of the slightly bad leg that you've had for 15 years?
Well,
Do you think that'll eventually kill you?
well, it could do if I can't run away from danger quick enough.
Right. Again, you're thinking of Jurassic Park coming true.
Well, whatever then. I'm just saying, you've got
Yeah.
to look after yourself. If there's anyone listening
could
out
always
there
hop.
who's got a problem, get it sorted.
I'll tell you what
That's all
though,
I'm saying.
if you have to fight off danger and you kick them, put the leg back down immediately after.
So anyway, I went to see this fella, to like a professional leg rubber.
Professional leg rubber.
Yeah.
And he sort of said a few things that were quite interesting. Remember that time when we had a chat on the last lot of podcasts? I said, am I in charge of my brain, or is my brain in charge of me?
Yeah, do you remember what I said? That's the most stupid thing you've ever said.
Yeah, well listen to this then. So I go and see this leg rubber,
Professional leg rubber, yeah.
right, and he is professional.
Yeah.
Right,
Remember, leg rubber. You haven't said doctor at any
Yeah.
point in this conversation.
He's a leg rubber.
So this however profound this is, it came from a man who is self-confessed professionally leg rubbing.
Not just leg.
Does he do
back,
left and right? Or?
back rubbing as well? He does it all.
Right.
So I'm in
Professional
there,
rubber.
and I didn't mention about how I thought my brain was in charge of me and stuff. I'm lying there. He's bending me about and what have you. The first problem he came across is that my nerves aren't long enough for my
Right.
body.
I don't know.
My nerves aren't long enough for your body.
He was lifting my legs up and I was going, right, whoa, stop that a minute, that's hurting that. He's like, what do you mean? He said, I've only got them like just about.
Well, that's your tendons.
No, but your nerves are in your legs as well, and your tendons don't hurt. It's your nerves that kick in. It's your nerves that make you go.
Yeah,
"That
but they
hurts."
hurt because your tendons are being overstretched.
Well, I'm just telling you what he said. Right, so he lifted the leg up, and I went, right.
Was
stop
this
doing
above a
that.
laundrette, this surgery?
No, it's a proper place. He had like towels and all that on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's got towels
Oh,
there.
okay, yeah.
The... So
Definitely a laundrette.
so I'm lying there.
Other people's towels.
He's got towels, underpants, bras.
halfway through he said, you haven't got 20p have you for the dryer?
So I'm lying there, and he lifts the leg up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that hurts a lot. So he said, oh yeah, short nerves. And I said, what do you mean? He said, your outside of the body is longer than your inside.
Right, he doesn't sound like a doctor. He does not sound like a
The
doctor.
outside of your body's
Yeah.
longer than the inside.
So he had me lying on my front and what have you, and he was sort of crushing me back.
Right.
And he was going, does that hurt? I said, yeah. It was like 48 quid this as well. Put me through all this pain and what have you.
Well, you got some good advice though.
He said, you're pretty stressed, and I said, yeah. I said, it's, I've quite a bit of stress in my life. And he explained to me about the kidney stones and that. I said, oh, that
He went, oh, shut the fuck up.
He probably said that. He said that's where you were probably got a lot of tenseness And
A lot of tenseness. Is that the phrase he used as a trained professional rubber?
He's a doctor. He's definitely a doctor.
So anyway, he said, "Do you relax much?
You haven't got any Lenore, have you? I want these sheets to come out nice and soft."
He said, "Do you, you should learn to meditate or something." He said, "Because you're all tensed up. We're living in a stressful world, as I tell you that." So when I was telling him that I have problems relaxing, he said, that you're obviously the sort of person
Who's gullible enough to spend 46 quid for this hokum?
He said, you're the sort of person whose brain is in charge of them, rather than them being in charge of the brain.
So all you did was you met a person as stupid as you.
Yeah.
No, but I thought it's interesting that this is what he does for a living.
Yeah.
And he picked up, that was the first visit, that's the first, I'd only been there about 22 minutes.
Yeah.
You get half an hour for 48 quid.
Right.
But he picked up on that within like 15,
No, he saw
20
right
minutes.
fucking sucker coming. No, he did pick up on that, yeah.
But anyway,
don't go dream again.
The reason, I am doing, I've got locked into it, I've got to go at least another 3 times.
Why?
I'm trying
What
to
do
get
you
out of it. I don't know, I didn't realise that you have to have a minimum amount of things. So what I'm saying
I can't wait. What's the wisdom he's going to come up with next week? That'll be brilliant. I will kind of, yeah.
No, but what I'm saying
Your
is...
blood's paranoid.
We were talking...
You've got jealous bones. You're the sort of person whose stomach's hungrier than you. What absolute fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you know, like how we were talking about eyes, weren't we? He said the thing is, you've got to be able to relax, and the way to do it is to focus. Right? He said, I said, what do you mean? He said, when you go to sleep...
You're the sort of person whose eyes can see further than you can.
He said, when you go to sleep...
Close your eyes and see. Instead of just leaving them open staring at the ceiling.
Carl, keep breathing.
Yeah, keep breathing. Close your eyes. You're not dead. It may seem like it, but you're not. You're just asleep.
So he said...
Oh, fuck me.
He said, what you've got to do when you go to sleep, focus on your toe. Right?
Okay.
He said, and just think about nothing else. I said...
He's a witch. Did he say to put a toad under the bed?
No, he just said focus on the toe and see how you go on and what have you. Next time you come in, let me know. Anyway, I gave this a go, focusing on the toe.
So what does this mean? You mean you sat in bed staring at your toes?
No, this is it. He said, like, lie down,
Visualising
shut
it.
your eyes and sort of look at it, sort of thing. So I was lying there, and it just wasn't working because
Oh, Carl, this isn't medicine.
I was...
You were thinking of a finger.
Well, no,
He found out he was thinking of someone else's toe.
Yeah.
Next day, someone called up and said, Carl, my toe's better.
no, the problem was I was still using my eyes even though I had them shut.
Oh, God! Just when I think he can never go with something stupid, he pulls that one out of the bag.
Right. So what does that mean?
Oh, God!
You were still What does that mean?
I was straining them. I had them shut, but I was sort of looking down at my foot.
You were trying to see through your eyelids at your toe.
Well, I was looking down, so I'm thinking that's where the foot is. Because of that, I was straining them and they were stinging, so I had to pack it in.
I'm gonna die! I am going to die!
Why, out of interest though, and this will sound naive, why don't we remember the very early moments of our lives? Why is it? Is it because it would be too harrowing to remember the point at which we sort of born? Because I don't really remember anything from those first few years. Why is it? Is it just because the brain's not fully formed at that moment?
I don't know.
The memory's not sufficiently developed?
I honestly...
It's got to be trauma, hasn't it? It's the things... Again, we were talking about me being younger, and the youngest I could remember back to was 1978.
How old were you then?
Uh,
When were you born?
72.
What,
It was
you
summer holidays.
you couldn't remember earlier than 6?
Um,
You can remember back to about 2 or 3, most people. What, you...
No way. No way. My mum and dad don't even remember them. Because you're not doing anything. This is what I'm saying.
Mum and Dad don't even remember me then! That's amazing!
Because they pinpoint
They remember
things.
all the Tic Tacs they've ever eaten.
Yeah. Do you remember when Carl was 6? Of course I do. 5? Yeah. 4? Yeah. 3? No. 2? No.
Because you're not doing anything, are you?
My mum and Dad don't even remember me then.
And it's weird.
I remember must have been about 2 sitting on a potty surrounded by Lego. I remember that very strong image I have of that.
No. I don't remember that.
No, you
No,
wouldn't remember that.
you weren't there, were you? What do you mean? What, you don't remember Steve sitting on a potty surrounded by Lego?
No, I mean, I can't remember having a potty. I remember having one of them.
I'm not suggesting you have the
You
same
used to go
memory.
in a fucking litter tray. Now I know why, to eat a Tic Tac while you're having a shit.
But okay, so what is your very first memory?
The one that cropped up the other day was having the eyes sort of glued together by...
Gangsters. Where's the fucking Tic Tacs?
No, I
We
was,
lost our truck for you, yeah.
when I was on holiday and I slept near the window and the window was open and I used to wake up in the morning with my eyes shut. My mum and dad thought I was having a lovely lie-in. I just couldn't open my eyes.
But whoa, I don't understand. Why were they?
I'm gonna burst.
Whoa,
What do you mean?
Why were they glued? Why were they? What do you mean they were glued?
Wait, but why didn't you say, Mum, Dad, I'm not asleep. My eyes are glued together.
It's just that you get a build-up on the eyelashes.
Yeah.
And it all...
But when they came in and you could sense them looking
I didn't know
at
they
you.
were there. I went to, what's the name? Harley Street. I went for a checkup. And like a medical. Posh, you know Harley Street, it's like it's the top doctors, isn't it? I've never been before.
yeah.
All posh buildings and that. I went up to the counter. I said, I see the doctor. They said, name, it was 10 minutes, go and wait in the waiting room. Dead posh waiting room. Dead fancy. Big leather furniture and that.
Yep.
Loads of magazines. I mean, like a newsagent's.
Yep.
In the middle of the room on a table. Loads of them. So I'm looking through and there's the top quality ones. Your Esquire, GQ, Classy, Yacht Weekly, all that. Country Life. Boys.
Boys.
There's one there, yeah. Boys. What's that? Right, lifted up like the one on top of it. And it's like boys with a Z. Two fellas stood there, looking, sort of Italian looking.
Yeah.
Right.
Dungarees on.
No shirt though.
No shirt, just dungarees sort of unbuttoned, hanging down a little bit.
Sure.
So no one else is about. I'm never going to buy a magazine like that.
I can't believe you're going to tell us you looked through a game magazine.
I had a little look just because I thought, like I say, it's one
You're
chance.
always looking to learn, aren't you? You're always looking to learn.
Yeah.
Always open. There might have been something in there that I go, right, I get it now. I understand why they like doing that or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So she said I was going to, 10-minute wait. I can have a quick flick through. Picked it up, had a look. Still none the wiser.
Why?
Well, what did you see when you opened it up?
Just loads of. Like I've said to you before about, I don't know why they like looking at knobs when they've got one of their own.
Right.
There's no surprises there. You're not going to go. Oh,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
nice. Some had like car oil on the face. Knob out.
Yeah.
There was someone sat on like one of them square things of hay.
Oh, yeah.
Sat there, like sort of sat on it, straddling it.
Yeah. That must have been uncomfortable.
Again, knob out.
Yeah, just looking like it's normal.
That's
Sort of
crazy.
like
No
that.
farmer walks around like that.
What's the other one? There was, motorbike. They always like them.
Yeah.
No, I'm going through and then like the content is all puns.
Right.
Everything was to do with knob.
Right.
That's the only bit they're interested in the
this-
male body.
Look at this bloke
It's
straddling
not-
this huge throbbing thing. The bike's not bad either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all that,
yeah.
loads of them. It was just cock, just 100%. Like let's just talk about the knob.
That's a good name for a gay magazine.
100% cock.
100% cock.
Did it not at any moment sort of maybe slightly unnerve you that the doctor might come in and see you reading boys?
No,
Or-
because I
or
wasn't.
What about if I walked through? Because I remember once when you were in hospital about to have a tube going down your knob and you were sitting in your pants with stockings on and I walked through and you were horrified. So what if I'd have walked in then and went,
Yeah,
Carl, what are you
I
doing?
would have just said, look at this. Look at this, it's free.
And I said, why did you bring that with you?
No, I would have just said, look, does it look like I brought it with me? Look
Yeah,
at this.
yes, it does.
Well,
Because
what-
I've never,
what? So you
because
look
I
at,
would never see, you would never see a gay magazine in a doctor's waiting room. So I think you bought that and pretended that it was
that's
there.
the thing. I was amazed by that because there was no there was no Mayfair or anything. They just catered for like if you wanted a bit of knob action. It was really, I could have complained. So if you're gonna have this, where's a bit of the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a bit of this, where's a bit of the other?
I know one of the things that they had, and I thought they're really struggling with like ideas. They had a Sccoby-Doo.
As in Sudoku.
Yeah.
Sccoby-Doo.
Surely
Coco.
Sadico is better.
No, because it was like suck cocko,
Yeah, but it's dick as well.
suck dicko.
Yeah.
What? And it was still a Sudoku-style puzzle, but it just had that name.
Yeah. It's just
So
everything. Not
It
it's
was
all
just Sudoku, but called Cocko. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Now,
That-
if I was gay, do you know, like
Let's
you
have
say,
a game of Lubo. Let's have a game of Knobopoly.
Noberation.
Knoberation. Let's have a game of chess. Cock. Let's have a game of fuckaroo.
Well, that works for either sex.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how we spend our
Okay, then.
Christmases.
Fuck a poo.
Oh, God.
The number of times I find a theory that he said in gobbledygook, but it's true. I think that I think he's been dealt a bad hand in the brain department. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thoughts, Carl?
well, your brain's in two bits, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wonder if one half is really good, the other half's messing it up.
Yeah.
That's how
That
I
could be
feel
the case. That
sometimes.
could be the case.
Yeah. Well, it is split into two. Yeah, and they are responsible for different things.
Yeah.
It's like these sort of families where there's a kind of really bright kid and then a sort of wayward child who just gets into drugs and stuff. Sort of like that up there
Yeah.
in your head.
Because you have quite sort of out there nebulous thoughts, and you've got a lot of common sense, haven't you?
And just having that other sense of like, this is dodgy.
What spider sense?
Just that sense where you just go, I don't know why, but something's telling me we shouldn't be here. And you go, all right, let's go. And you move from it, and you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's decided that. You know, it's like when you're lost. A part of my brain's got me lost, but then there's another bit that I don't know what it is, where they go left. And you do, and then you go,
So
remember that time when you called me and I said I don't know where I am, and I couldn't concentrate.
think of that. Think of that. I called him. Oh my God, what are you doing? I don't know where I am.
What do you mean you didn't know where you were? What you?
I got lost. I
What,
went
in London
wandering.
you got
yeah,
lost?
Yeah. And I went wandering, and then you know, I
It's
was
when
like,
he first moved into his new place. He was walking back from his old place to his new place, and he didn't know where he was. He
How
tried
can
to
you
take a
ever
short.
really get lost in London now? I'm just. It's
Um,
a cabbie.
well, yeah, I don't want to do that because I feel bad pulling one over and then saying, where am I?
Yeah, they don't appreciate that, do they?
But I found my way back, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you told me
20
one
minutes.
time that you much prefer getting lost. You love wandering around and getting lost.
Yeah,
you said
go-
that's much better.
go down the
It was a cold
cul-de-sac.
day. It was a cold day. I just wanted to be at home. Had things to do. There's a time and place to be lost.
Well, go on.
Well, a place
What's
you
the
don't
place?
know,
What's
and
the place to be lost?
somewhere you don't know.
Right. Good. Okay.
And the
specific.
time?
The
Time when you're not in a rush.
Right.
But that time I was in a rush, and I was
And-
cold.
So a typical argument in your head is what? I'm lost. I'll do one side of the brain. You do the other side of the brain. Okay, in your head. Okay. Carl,
What?
this isn't where we should be. You want to go home, didn't you? This isn't your house, because it's a field. You live in a house, don't you? Why are we standing in a field? This isn't your house. You're meant to going home, but you've walked into a field.
No, but that wouldn't. I've never been that lost. When I'm walking across a field, at the edge of the field, I'd go, hang on a minute, this isn't right. I wouldn't get in the middle. I wouldn't go that far. I'd go, right, I definitely shouldn't be here.
You did once. You were in the middle of a field, and your dad had to rescue you
Yeah,
and carry
that's
you
when I
through
was
the
a kid because I was reading as I was walking. That's,
And he never read again.
but there's another sense. I was in the middle of nettles there.
Yeah.
I'd walked. It was at my brother's wedding in Cornwall, and I was walking near a cliff edge.
Reading a book.
And okay, so okay. Walking. Carl, I know you're enjoying this book. Can I have a word with you? Just look past the book a minute. There's a big drop.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened, and then
Right.
that's when my other senses went, hang on a minute, I'm being stung. Load of nettles and stuff. And I just had to wait there for ages until my dad sort of thought, where's Carl? I was there for about an hour and a half.
He's read a book. run off reading a book when it's your brother's wedding?
No, this was like, we were in, I think it was St Ives in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in St Ives, and just, you know, it was a nice day and that. There was no telly in the place. It was a horrible house. It was haunted, actually. No, honestly.
No, not honestly. It wasn't haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts. So you saying honestly it was haunted means fuck all.
It's the weirdest place and weirdest sensation I've ever had. I spoke to a woman called Mrs. Battersby.
Right.
Who sat on my bed keeping me up all night. My mum came up, she said, "You look shattered." I said, "Yeah, I had a kip all night." She said, "Why?" I said, "I've been talking to Mrs. Battersby." She said, "Who's that?" I said, "Oh, some old woman." Now, I can't remember it now, but that's what I did then. And then,
Sorry. So Mrs. Battersby didn't exist. Is that what you're saying? She was the ghost?
yeah.
Wasn't the landlady?
No, there's no landlady. It's a big house, about 12 bedrooms in it.
Right.
Dead cheap to stay there because it was a wreck. My
Were
mum
you
and dad
ill?
went out
Were you
one
ill?
night.
Did you have flu at the
No,
time?
I had nothing like that. I just...
So you were sitting up, but you were awake, and you were having a conversation with Mrs. Battersby.
What did she look like?
I can't remember. I can't even remember having the chat now.
Right,
But
so-
at the time, I was like, oh, she just doesn't shut up. Chatting all night.
So you don't remember this happening? Or you do remember it happening?
No, I remember that, like, if I see my mum now and I mention St. Ives, she'll go, "Oh, yeah, Mrs. Battersby." She remembers coming in because she was older than me, wasn't she? So to
Who?
her, my mum.
Was she?
Yeah.
How old was Mrs. Battersby? She was older than both
She
of you.
was old because I'm calling her Mrs. Battersby. If she was my age, I'd probably say, "Oh, it's Susan" or whatever.
Right, sure,
You
Miss
call older
Miss
people
Battersby.
by the surname, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she kept
How
me
old
up all
were you?
night. You know, I'm thinking of pictures at the wedding.
Why do you have to go through other things to just have a memory?
How old do you reckon you were?
I don't understand why you haven't got direct access to your memories.
How old do you reckon you were?
Your mum was older, though, yeah?
You must have a vague idea of when this
I'm
event
thinking
was.
about it now. I'm thinking. I'm
Okay.
picturing a picture of myself at this wedding.
Okay.
And how old were you doing? How tall were
I'd
you?
say I look about.
How were you?
I'd say I look about 7 or 8. Looking at the picture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So Mrs. Battersby is chatting away to you. You don't remember what she said, but you do remember having the conversation.
No, he doesn't remember it
I
at
don't
all.
remember the chat now.
Well, then
So-
why are you telling us?
It's
You
not
must
your
remember it
memory.
because you're telling us about
It's not
it.
your
Because it's a
memory.
memory. My mum's reminded me of it.
Yeah, but all it says is, this is so far removed. This is hearsay that your mum said you spoke to a ghost once, and you don't even remember the ghost.
Mrs. Battersby.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, but you
remember the
don't
name
remember
only because
her.
your mum reminded you of
In a
it.
court of law, if there was a ghost court, they go hearsay, thrown out of court.
Right.
You
yeah.
don't have a memory of Mrs.
No,
Battersby.
look, I know that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I ate a beetle. I ate a beetle because I thought it was licorice. Now, I can't remember that now.
You can't remember that, but you know it happened because your mother told you it happened.
Exactly.
Right. But the fundamental thing is that we can believe. We can believe you ate a beetle, right? Because that is something that could happen in real life.
But-
What we're questioning is that you spoke to a ghost.
What sort of beetle was it?
Just one of them standard beetles, just the black shiny one.
Thing is, right, a couple of years ago, we were in the Ivy, and the food came, and there's a big blob of wasabi, right? It was like called an Oriental hors d'oeuvre, right? And I looked over at Carl, and he started going, drinking water. I said, "What have you done?" He said, "I heard that." I said, "That was a blob of wasabi." He said, "I thought it was one mushy pea."
That's a classy restaurant where they're serving one mushy pea.
Well, they do that, don't they?
Wow.
Small portions. It's all trendy, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the fact that it's exactly the same thing. They've swapped beetle for wasabi and licorice for pea. You see things, you see something, you
It's a
think...
good job you remembered that anecdote, though, because he doesn't.
Exactly, yeah. In years to come, we'll be going, "Ate some wasabi once." Did you?
Yeah.
Well, according to Ricky, I did, yeah. I was in the Ivy. I thought it was mushy pea.
So hang on, I just want to go back to Mrs. Battersby because
What
you
other-
confidently said it was
most
haunted.
haunted.
It was the most haunted place,
Yeah.
but you've got no real evidence for it because even you claim you had this encounter, you don't even remember it.
But you don't remember everything in life,
But you
do you?
supposedly had a conversation with a ghost.
I know, but I didn't know. When I was younger, I
But you
didn't think
remember
that
the
was a
specifics
ghost.
of an ant walking around.
Yeah, so you thought, so I see. If you'd have had the memory, it would just be a nice old lady on the end of your bed all night.
Right.
And then...
Then when I mentioned it, my mum was saying, "What do you mean, Mrs. Battersby? Who's Mrs. Battersby?"
Right?
When you're a kid, you're not terrified, are you?
No.
Nothing scares
I mean,
you.
I'm beginning to think, who the fuck is Mrs. Battersby, I must admit. But
So, yeah, that was, but it was a weird place. I mean, there was no telly. All they had for sort of company was a calculator.
Carl, you're
Wow.
the strangest little
That's
man that's ever
extraordinary.
lived. Company had to company.
No.
There goes Carl with his friend. What's his friend? Oh, it's a little...
It's a Sanyo 4197G.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, calculator, do that boobs thing again.
My mum and dad used to go out. I stayed in there.
Just shots of him with his calculator on the beach. My only friend was a calculator. Oh, God. Just imagine shots of him in Vietnam just carrying Tommy.
When the batteries died, they had to have a funeral for him.
His barrels are all over the floor. Oh, fucking hell. The only company was a calculator. Before I used to knock around with a brick. Oh, fuck me.
We have to face facts here.
Go on.
The world is old.
Hold on. Right, okay. Yeah,
world's
it's
old. The world
It's-
is
that
old.
is a fact.
Yep.
That is a fact.
It's the same as if you've got a gran who's 70. There's not much you can do for her. You can say you're warm, but at the end of the day, she's still going to be shitting her pants. She's still going to be, forgetting things
Right.
and all the rest of it. And you might be taking care of her, but at the end of the day, the good days are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in a way, like the world, it's got to a point that it's old. And yeah, we can say turn the tap off, turn the lights off, close the windows, stop letting heat out.
The earth, metaphorically, is shitting its pants.
We are not the same as the first man that nature made.
No. No, we're not, no.
And that's where we went wrong. And if we didn't interfere at that point, we might have been more suited to the conditions now. Auntie Nora,
Right.
I'm cold. She doesn't want double glazing.
Why not?
Just because she's worried that when people come round and sort of knock on the door, she won't hear them because it's all sort of double glazed.
But
and-
they're knocking on the door.
no, but she said that no, she doesn't like a bell. It makes her jump too much.
Well,
It's a hard one.
how do they get in now?
Well, it's a thin door and thin glass. You hear it. It's not like soundproof like double glazing is.
What, so they have to knock
They
on
knock
the...
like that on the door, and she can hear that because
But
it's
why
like
are
a
they going
wooden
to double
door.
glaze the door? Is it a glass door?
No, they want to put that PVC door in with
Hang
the
on, so
thicker glass.
she's scared by... You don't want a doorbell because that alarms her, but the knocking is fine.
The knocking's fine because you
Why
get to know
Why don't
knocks
they have a bell that when you press it, it makes that noise?
because they haven't done that yet.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
that's an
you
idea.
could do a sample of a... like that. So when they press the doorbell, she hears... That's easy, that's done. You could sort that out for her.
Well, I don't want to start getting dragged into it because
Why don't you make Auntie Nora a bell that knocks?
well, it could be done. But the fact of the matter is, it isn't, and that's why she doesn't want double glazing.
But why don't you tell her, say, Auntie Nora, have double glazing, be warm, be safe. Hear the knock. Hear the knock of the bell on the doubly door. Auntie Nora, hear the knock of the bell on the doubly door.
She could fart until she's blue in the face. No one will be able to hear.
But look,
No one will be able to smell it.
But this
There's
is it.
double glazing.
This
It's
is
tremendous.
it. This is it, though, isn't it? She wouldn't be around now if it wasn't for people interfering, coming up with tablets, making weak people live longer.
Right. You're annoyed at that. You're
I
annoyed.
love it. He's such a fascist, isn't he? Auntie
Yeah.
Nora, a weak person who has been allowed
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah.
No, but
Eugenics is where you'd be happier.
but don't you see what I'm saying, though? The way the world we've changed more than the world has. We can't handle anything now, can we? Look at it. Like I say, a bit of snow, a bit of cold, everything comes to a standstill.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go out. It's dangerous. You'll slip over. People having time off work.
Yeah. What would you do, right? If you run a business, right? Your business could go under, right? It snows a bit. You got 10 employees. You're paying them well, and they go, I can't come in today, Carl. Bit icy. I'll do it. Okay. Right. They're snowed in, right? You're running the business. What are you running?
It's a let's not.
Don't-
I'm not
don't
going to
you-
big myself up. It's just it's a
don't you run it-
factory.
but
It's
doesn't it make
U-bends.
bells that knock?
No,
Doesn't it?
U-bends.
Yeah.
U-bends for
Toilet. So
yeah.
you run a. Okay. Right. Okay.
It's a plumbing
So
type.
plumbing. You pay them all right, don't you?
I'd say most of them are on above average.
So you're there. What time do you get in?
About 8:45.
8:45, waiting for them to come in at 9, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, it's snowing. It's a bit snowy, you got there. It took you a bit while. You'd set off early, did you? Or?
Gave myself a bit more time because I had to put the heating on the car.
Okay, ring, 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 ring.
Hello, KP Plumbing.
Oh, is that Miss Pilkington?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, who's that?
Oh, it's Sheila. Listen.
Sheila, shouldn't you be here by now?
Yeah, no. I was going to set off.
We'll set off now. Stop wasting time. We've got a big order on.
No, I know.
We're all
but-
on a bonus here if we get this done. I'll see you in 10 minutes.